Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and today we're going to take a look at a biometric smart lock. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so today we're going to take a welcome look at the world of keyless entry. So this is a smart padlock, works on a biometric level. So this means no more losing keys, no more forgetting combinations, all that kind of stuff. Also means that you can actually have more than one person with the key to the device without actually having to go to the local locksmiths and getting keys done, or maybe writing down the combination for the lock, which obviously that is a terrible idea, but people still do it, like they write down their passwords and leave them on top of their computers. Anyway, with this, you don't have to worry about it. It's safe and secure. You can register up to 10 different digits. So if you want to, you can do both of your hands to be ultra secure in case maybe your fingerprint gets worn off slightly or something. Maybe you get super glue on your hands and your fingerprints aren't working right. So you can do all of your fingers and your thumbs onto this device. Or alternatively, if you've got a relatively large family, you can have every one of your family members with access to this device. Maybe you've got a shop. This would be ideal. So if you're maybe locking up a gate from a storeroom or something like that, and there's a lot of you that need access, rather than constantly keeping keys and getting them cut and losing them, all that kind of stuff, just get one of these and register all your staff with a fingerprint. Job done. So what is the lock comprised of? So first of all, you've got a 1/4 inch steel shackle at the top. The body itself is made from a zinc alloy, so that's nice and tough. It's actually IP65 rated, so it will be kind of storm-proof, shower-proof, all that kind of stuff. Not submersible, so if this does get dropped into fluid, you're going to kill it essentially, which is probably a bad thing, and then you're going to need a hacksaw or bolt croppers or something like that to actually remove it. So if the circuitry does get damaged, it doesn't automatically just pop open, it will stay shut. So if someone tries to actually disable the lock by getting it wet or maybe spraying WD-40 actually inside it, that kind of thing, we have heard of the people trying to do that. That doesn't defeat the lock, it will actually still stay locked. So it is going to be a relatively secure device, even though it is pretty cost effective. At the moment in the US you're looking at about $35, so I guess that equates to around about £27 in the UK, thereabouts. I'm not entirely sure where the exchange rate is at the moment, but I guess we're looking around that. So under £30 in the UK, $35 in the US. And if you do buy it from the spinning deal, you can get them elsewhere, but if you buy it from the spinning deal in the US, you do get free shipping. So there's that to take into consideration also. So other parts of the spec, so we've got a 300 milliamp hour battery, which bizarrely, I find is quite insane really. In standby mode, this will last for up to 2 years, which is quite frankly absurd. All it needs every 2 years or quicker is a charge from the USB port, which I can't even open. So that's how well secure that is. I can barely get it open. So there's a rubber flap which covers up the micro USB port. So all you need to do is to charge that every now and then. And I've had it on charge on my computer, which is a relatively slow charge, probably about half an hour to an hour, and it was fully charged. Now there is an LED on the front, which is here. Multi-function LED, multi-colored LED, so it tells you what's going on. Whilst you're charging the device, you plug it in and it's red. When the light goes out, it means it's fully charged, so that's pretty straightforward. In the instructions, it does actually give you a rundown of what all the color LEDs do. So for instance, low power, the red light will be flashing on the front. If the power gets to a very, very low status, it will actually make that alarm noise or the bleep noise every minute until you actually go and rescue it and put some power back into it. Fully charged, all the lights are off like we said. So the green light flashes when it's in fingerprint collection mode. Green light is always on or constant on when it's collected a fingerprint. Blue light comes on when it needs the administrator fingerprint. So that's whoever the first fingerprint is registered on here. You are the administrator of the lock. So you will need administrator access to erase the lock, which you can do pretty easily actually. We'll get onto that in a little bit. So red light always on, delete fingerprint mode, and red light flashing, failed to connect fingerprint. So depending on what mode you're in, if you're in charging mode, a flashing red light means it's almost empty on battery. But if you're trying to put a fingerprint in and it flashes, it means it hasn't read your fingerprint. Pretty straightforward stuff. And it's also got a guide there which shows you how to install your fingerprint, how to add additional users, and also how to delete fingerprints. So deleting fingerprints is actually really easy. So we'll do that first of all, just to delete the whole thing. So I've set up my right forefinger. So if I press and hold that until we get the blue light, which means we need the administrator finger to reset. So press that again, and now it's flashing. So that means it's now ready to accept another digit. So this is how to install additional users. So I will move on to my left hand. Now the actual light has stopped flashing now, so to prevent anyone accidentally gaining access, there is a bit of a timeout on this. So we'll do that again. So press and hold briefly so it opens. Press and hold it again until the blue light flashes. So now we're in entry mode. Blue light. Now it's flashing green. So now it's in entry mode. So we'll do this 10 times. And there we go. When we get that long beep, that means it's registered it. So now I've got my right forefinger and my left forefinger both registered on the lock. So whilst in lock mode, press the button and it'll open it. And again, with the other finger, it will open it. Now this is actually quite impressive because Kath and I have just eaten a pack of Doritos, which are very nice. Thank you, Michael Gamlin, for those. Our fingers are pretty greasy, and my finger is actually exceptionally greasy. And with the hot lights in here, my fingers have got quite a lot of grease in them. So the fact that this thing is actually still working is a testament to the quality of the reader. So anyway, that's how to add an additional fingerprint. So what we'll do is now I'll go through and do the deletion. So what we need to do is long press the button for up to 10 seconds until we get the red light flashing. So I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this, but I will try and get it on the camera. So now we've got a solid red light. So we'll press it again. And there we get our really long beep, which means it's gone and erased all the fingerprints. So in this mode now, any finger at all will open or close the device. So whether it's registered or not. So that is how it would come in its default state. So any finger will open it. It's just completely open system. Even if you wanted to, you could open it with your nose. See, easy as that. So when you get into this mode, this is when you'd add your first digit. So just go through this again. So long press the sensor for 3 seconds. And then we get a flashing green light. So then we can use the finger again 10 times. Move it around a little bit so it gets a different version of your finger depending where you're going to grab it from. And when you hear the long bleep, that's it, you're done. So close the lock. Try the wrong finger. No. No. Try the right finger. And there we go, opens. I think this is absolutely brilliant. It's very similar in the technology to the Padlock, which I reviewed ages ago, which you can see up here, which actually was a far more expensive device, literally triple the price of this. It did have extra features such as the access from Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on your phone, etc, etc. But essentially this does pretty much the same thing, possibly not as secure because it's not quite as thick a shackle on the top, but for £35 or $35 rather, this is a really good thing. It's not the kind of thing you're going to have your Bugatti locked in your garage using one of these, but for most things like your school locker, maybe a roof box on a car, a shed, whatever it may be, smaller or more cost-effective items, you're not going to use this to secure a $30,000 car, obviously. But for most things around the home, for going on holiday, for suitcases, all that kind of stuff, I think this is going to be brilliant. Anyway, this has been the Biometric Smart Lock. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll be catching you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.